Hello everyone and welcome. This is Asia, and here's Singapore. Now let's go la, shall we? Situated at the tropical tip of the Malay Peninsula, Singapore consists of one main island and a bunch of smaller ones, all of which, in early medieval times, were encompassed by the Srivijaya Empire of Sumatra. Trade enriched that empire, and riches, as they usually do, attracted predators. Srivijaya declined in the 1000s after the Indian Chola Empire attacked and plundered its flourishing ports. According to tradition, in 1299, a prince, said to be a descendant of Alexander the Great, arrived on the island after a storm and saw a lion and built a city there called Singapura, which is Sanskrit for lion city. What's odd is that lions are not native to this part of the world, though it may very likely have been a lion on vacation. Anyway, the newborn microstate developed into a rich, busy commercial centre, but collapsed in 1398 after being attacked by the Majapahit Empire of Java, though other sources say it was the Siamese. After Singapura's fall, the next big regional stronghold of mercantile trade would be nearby Malacca. Thereafter, the island was ruled by the Johor Sultanate, whose lucrative trade came to be administered by the Dutch, who had succeeded in kicking out the Portuguese to that end. None of these powers paid any attention to Singapore, but then along came the British. Sir Stamford Raffles selected the site of Singapore in 1819 as an ideal location for British trade interests, and oversaw the rapid development of the area into a prosperous port. Over the years, the population grew more and more, as immigrant workers, many from China, came for employment on plantations. Trade also grew more and more, especially after the Suez Canal opened up, allowing for faster travel from the Mediterranean. A key export of the late 19th century was rubber. The 20th century brought increased modernization and also the Second World War, in which the Japanese invaded and occupied Singapore. Utter horror followed, in which the Japanese began slaughtering all perceived enemies, mostly Chinese, whom Japan particularly disliked, especially since they were at war with China at the time. Many thousands were killed. Japan had won the battle, but they lost the war, and after their surrender in 1945, the British returned to power in Singapore. But things were different now. The British Empire had been stripped and shorn of its prestige. Times were changing. Riots and unrest flared up, and self-governance was attained, and in 1963, Singapore joined Malaysia. But not for long. Malaysia and Singapore simply had too many differences, and after ethnic tensions between Chinese and Malays erupted into race riots, Singapore was booted out of Malaysia and suddenly found itself to be an independent country. Lee Kuan Yew became the first Prime Minister, and it was under his rather extraordinary leadership that Singapore built itself into a developed, thriving nation and economy. It also banned chewing gum in 1992. Now, why would anyone want to ban... Anyway, Singapore today is one of the richest countries in the world, with a very high level of human development and high quality of life, and it is also a highly popular tourist destination. It does look pretty snazzy, doesn't it? Anyway, that's it for Singapore, and that's all from me for now. Bye-bye!